where we went to school, my brother got made fun of relentlessly. And my brother's probably one of the smartest guys I know, but he'll probably say that about me as well, because we were just two different kinds of smart. And there was a kid, I won't say his name because we're friends now, but he made fun of my brother because they were in the same grade. Well, then he failed that grade, and now he's making fun of me. He's in my homeroom, and now he's making fun of me. And I'll never forget, they roasted me mercilessly for these corduroy pants. And I remember thinking like, man, I can't say anything. And then one day it clicked. No, make fun of them.
Right.
Come up with your own jokes. Even if you got to practice your jokes in the mirror, come up with your own jokes, make fun of them. So that kind of wedged me into that class clown where that built that resiliency, and to where we'd sit in class and just go back and forth. And that kind of earned me some respect for being quick-witted or good at jokes that I had practiced all night long. So that's kind of where the comedy side built. And then when I first joined the military, which I won't go into depth about, the military stuff, because
I like the mystery, to be honest.
There's a lot of experiences that are mine.
Sure.
And if you don't hold your experiences close, it kind of degrades them. If everybody knows everything you've done, we've seen a lot of people in the limelight that, and
what's the point?
They feel like they have to create this persona. No, I'm an internet comedian. That is what I am. Oh, well, what group? What? No. I'm an internet comedian. And that's where a lot of that started. But then, gosh, man, I don't want to tell any basic training stories, but you go back to basic and, you get kids from all over the nation. I got a buddy that lives out here that we're probably going to try to do lunch, but he and I would just make fun of everybody.
All the easy targets.
Yeah.
All the easy targets.
And so I got really good at it, like really to the point where one of my bunkies, this was probably about 2 hours after bed check. He's like, man, screw you, I'm out. He takes his wool blanket off his rack and goes to walk out the door, to the point where they had to grab him and be like, no, don't go out there. The drill sergeant's out there. And
he just had enough.
Yeah. And so then there was another kid, a Cali kid. He's like, man, you're a bully. And I'd never been called a bully. And he was like, you're a bully now. And I remember my response, because this was right before, I think this was before Chow. And he's like, you're a bully. And I was like, I'm not a bully. You're just weak.
God, just cuts to the core.
And I said that, and this kid could have easily, this was a big dude, and he was an MMA guy. He was really good at it. He could have easily just folded me. And I remember saying that and thinking oh no, what'd I do? Why'd I say that?
Right. And
he just laughed and walked it off. And then from then on,
you were that guy.
Yeah, I like to say I've gotten funnier with time. But I've kind of just, I don't know. I just turned it into my own thing, and it is what it is now. Here I am.
I love it. Has it ever gotten you into big trouble?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Give me an example.
I will say this. If you're going to send a group message to a group of people, make sure you know every single person in that message. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Okay. Are you like this at home too? Do you use it at home too? Do the kids see you online as different? Like, this is my dad's character?
Yeah.
Or are you kind of that guy at home too?
So I've learned a lot about fatherhood in recent years. One of the things that went along with me getting injured is we ended up joining a church, and I was injured September 25th of 2018. I was baptized on October 30th.
Okay.
And so we're really, we're everything I do. You might notice I don't cuss. There's no sexual humor. There's no, glorifying alcohol or anything like that. No sexual jokes. None of that. I stay away from that. Now, I did have the hot dog posts, which
hot dog posts are pretty.
That was borderline. But so I've kind of learned a lot about being a better husband and a better father. And one of the things that I realized was that fathers, when we play with our children, it releases that oxytocin. So fathers get it from play, mothers get it from nurturing.
Yep.
And so my kids, we're very respectful in my home. Like in my house, it's very administrative. Kids don't walk into my room. You knock, you wait to be acknowledged. We'll either tell you come in or give us a minute.
Word.
We were wrapping birthday gifts. Birthday season in my house is May, June, July. All three
birthday
kids.
Season.
That's what we call it, birthday season. So my wife, she'll shop year round. So there's always some sort of birthday gift somewhere. And so Kid knocks, hold on a second, put everything away, come on in. But as far as playing with the kids, I really want to be that dad. And I'm not saying that my dad was horrible. My dad's a great dude. But I didn't have the relationship with my dad that I have with my kids. So with my kids, it's fun, but at the same time, it's yes, sir, yes, ma'am for mommy. And we carry that level of respect. So there's a time to play, and then there's a time that things need to be serious. And my kids are comedians too. I tell you, when I left, actually, when we got here, when we landed, because my kids were asleep when I left this morning, my youngest one, she's a firecracker. And her thing is, she calls me a biscuit butt.
Okay.
And so she'll play.
She's pushing the envelope.
She is. Yeah. She'll call names, but I know if she's playing, then she's in that. She's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And so even when she gets in trouble, it's yes, sir.
Yeah, she knows how to turn it
on and off. And so
That's
see
a life
that.
skill, man.
They see that. And my wife, of course, she doesn't want any, y'all stop all that loud playing that roughhousing. And my oldest kid, she knows how to fight. So I said, if you want to learn how to fight, I'll teach you how to fight. And so she knows how to fight, and she's 14. And middle kid, animal lover. She's not a fighter at all, but she loves to play with the dog. She's been facilitating. We got this dog for Christmas. She's been facilitating a lot of the training for the dog and everything else. So, and then the youngest one, she's gotten into singing. I noticed when we go to church on Sundays, my wife works at the church now, but when we go to church on Sundays, I usually take the youngest one and I'll play, I grew up listening to one of the old Washington, D.C. Gospel stations, and I'll play that station. They'll play stuff from 50 years ago.
Okay.
And she doesn't know a song, but she'll sing along with it. So I encourage that. So all of these things that my kids display, I encourage. So whether it's fighting, animals, music, art, I encourage it.
Let them explore it.
And it's amazing because we've kind of been on a health journey. My wife and I, we kind of set the health parameters a few years ago once we kind of figured out, we want to live long. We want to be healthy. We jumped on that RFK Jr. wave, you know what I mean? And, once we did that, we started to make it a point that the kids will go outside. My wife and I, we go outside. We have a bench. We bought a bench to put in the front yard, and we go out there and we just sit outside, and we'll either unwind or that's where we start our day. So in the cold, it's a lot less, but managing the kids and saying, all right, hey, have you been outside yet? Well, no, I haven't gone outside. Well, go on, get your coat on, go outside. And they go outside and they play. My best friend, or one of my best friends, he lives like 2 miles from my house. He's got 10 acres. They've got chickens, goats, four-wheelers. I've been helping him build a fence. Shout out to Farmer Joe, trying to get that fence done because he's got some goats on the way. But and he's got 3 daughters as well. So my kids learn gardening. They learn dealing with animals. They learn all of these things that I never learned growing up in, kind of a more urban, I didn't live in a house until I bought a house. I went from a basement when I was a baby to an apartment to a townhome. And then shortly after I got married, my wife and I, we bought our first house. So having my kids be able to have their own land, they see, daddy maintains the land. You got to cut the grass. I don't have trash service. I take my own trash to the dump. So being able to manage a career, manage social media, to be able to still be dad, to still be, the rock solid husband that I am, to be able to wear all those hats and to show them that anything you set your mind to, you can do. And, it's really cool because my oldest daughter, she joined a youth group that's about 30 minutes from the house. And our ride to youth group, it's really good time it's just one-on-one.
Just you and
yeah.
Yeah.
And I see so much of myself in her, but I see so much of her mother and then her own personality. And
That's crazy, right?
As a girl dad, you really have to relate to your daughters. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird because when my kids see other kids being unruly and disrespectful, my kids will be like, hey, look at that kid over there. That kid just hit his mom.
Right.
And I'll look and I'll say, and I have to reinforce it. I say, do you know what would happen if you hit your mom? And they're like, yes, sir. And I'm like, all right, cool.
As long as we're still straight.
As long as we're on the same page, we're good.